Arctic forests up there. The ocean creates a lot with the algae, but now it's slowing down and a lot of it's dying with red tide. So that's something to be concerned about. So we know this is a crisis and we need to come up with better ways, not just scrubbing coal. So I don't have to preach about that, and I won't be Al Gore either. So anyway, these are projections, blah blah blah, out to 2035 and how it is and what it is, blah blah blah. You'll see this later. There's a lot of great water in the future. The biggest thing that I thought was really interesting is this link right here. Is Water in the Future, the documentary, it's a 3-part documentary, is in Tibet, on your way up to Mount Everest. There was this Tibetan area that has never seen land in more than 10,000 years. And now there's a river running through there, and it's more than 2.5 to 3 miles long from ice that used to be at least 6 to 8 feet thick. Now it's a river. And it's only getting worse. So what happened is China knew this stuff was happening, so they stole that area, Tibet, because that water supply runs all the way down through the Middle East and everyone else, all the way down through Africa. So there's a huge reason for that. That documentary will educate you a lot. That's why I believe in the desalination project of this. So as we move. So of course, the water, floods will increase, draws by. Everything here is California on a normal year, right? So now this is what we predicted. This is what we did. This is what we've seen from outer space. It's a lot worse than what we thought. So anyway, I believe in backing the Federal Reserve. I'm not going to go into this slide too much because it talks about details of finance. George and I could talk in one day about it, but here it doesn't make sense. We need to back the Federal Reserve. We need to back our U.S. dollar to make it strong and keep it strong and keep it more stable, not up and down. Unlike, because if you know, like for instance, China's manipulation of their dollar, you know how they do it is all the dollar is based on energy, okay? Your ability to produce is based on a certain set price. It used to be oil in the 70s, now it's going to just all energy. And if you look at the energy, China changes those rules. It says, oh, we can make stuff for like, you know, if America's doing it at 10 cents per kilowatt or 5 cents per kilowatt hour, China says, oh, we're doing it at 2. And you're doing ancient coal plants and stuff, so it's bullshit. It's a lie. So your ability to, you know, their money manipulations is BSing about what the true production of energy is. So once you know that, that's what really matters. And of course, one of the richest guys in the world. We are on the verge of global transformation. We need major crisis. Obama's favorite thing. And we need a new world order, right? We want it to be globalized. He's a globalist. Yeah, a world without oil dependency. That's what we believe in. I believe we need oil because I love the sound of my Jaguar engine, right? Don't you love the sound of a kick-ass Corvette or something like that? I mean, some cool cars, or a nice Harley that goes by. I mean, those are cool. This is the only thing that meets, you know, the best for safe, clean, and reliable. And also on this one is base load. You can handle the base load for that entire city. And these are your different energy methods. This is the best one of all of them, which you can read this more later. CO2 in the climate. I'm not going to get Al Gore-ish on you because I'm running late already. You can read this later. Al Gore. Exactly what we talked about earlier. Everything is cyclical. So, and it matters a lot. All these numbers are great numbers, and I put them in there because I didn't want to make one whole slide on it. But you can look at it and you can like blow it up and look at it yourself. We'll get this later. It just shows exactly what we're already talking about. Energy sales in 2011. Okay, it's only went up since then. It grows at 5 to 7% depending that year with other countries too. So anyway, it's a $17.5 trillion a year business. So yes, the oil companies are the richest people in the world. Period. Each one's worth about 1 or 2 trillion. So we're going to take 2 trillion of it as it goes up to the 25 trillion a year. We only want 10%. 90% of it. We don't want to be targets on us, hey, you're the Insta-Grid people, shoot them.
No, we got the bulletproof stuff there.
And nuclear proof. Yeah, you'll have to wear protective gear, right?
It will look cool.
We could make it look cool. You could make it change colors for you too. Or you could actually make it change colors to be just like Predator.
I was gonna say, can we be invisible?
Yes, you could. Meaning McDonnell Douglas, St. Louis, and Long Beach, we made an entire one section of a whole wing that was a Predator wing that, as it went over, you could see the land below you, but we had people walk down on the backside, and on the other side, you could see exactly what that was. And the image was kind of shady because of the warpness of the wing in the certain areas, and it was just like the Predator. And I'm like, and we did a whole wing that way. And I'm like, wow. And then Predator movie comes out 3 years later. I'm like, how do they know this? Anyway, you can do that, but the infrared signature is way off the charts.
Yeah.
So, but now that we have LEDs that have lower emitting energy, because back then we didn't have them, now we can do that. So, anyway, again, this is back to each requirement. And this explains exactly what we need to do. What is the best solar? What is the best beam method? Which is the best ground? And so on and so forth. I'm going to blast through this and I'm going to tell you with an update where we are, what we should be at. Okay, this is the NSF funding. I was going to use National Science Foundation because Dr. Paul was there. He's not there now. We don't really need him, but it's okay. This schedule, this is when I really started doing studies on it with. I used to have weekly natural work groups with Dr. Hyland and Don Marie Murphy and Charles Radley, who does microwave antennas for space satellites. And I had a whole group put together, and we would have meetings on this, and we started back in 2015. And we were trying to nail it down to which technology was the best for each one of these technology levels. I wanted to nail it down, trim down the trade study to be in more finite instead of looking at the whole spectrum. So 2 years ago or longer, we were doing that, and we're there now. We're done. So here we are, 2017, company launch. This is now it's time to launch it. Feasibility's there. We know exactly where we're going and what we're going to do and which materials we're looking at. So not a big deal. All this still makes sense. This is an old one for space solar power. If you look at Lockheed, it looks stupid like this. Boeing's looks big, long, and stupid like this too. Northrop's is big, long, and stupid like this too. John Mackens from NASA, his is big, huge, bulky. It's smart, but heavy, expensive. It's not stupid. I can't call it stupid because it manipulates itself. It's pretty smart. But it takes all this, concentrates the entire energy of all the sun, reflects it down to a microwave pad that has a huge heat transfer to it because otherwise it would vaporize the whole capability of being able to transmit it. So it has this huge almost 3.5 foot thick heat transfer mechanism just so it can convert the solar photon into microwave energy. So, and that's a launch just by itself to put that up there. So, anyway, there's things that could be a lot better, but that's what you have to do with that kind of system. Here's the schedule. You can see it actually, you'll see the dates actually match up to ours. This is 2020 right here. So, this is a very good way. Remember how your USBs, you used to buy them and they could only carry like 16 megabytes back 10 years ago or so? And now you can get 16 megabytes for $4, I mean $5, or gigabytes, right? So the difference is astronomical. It's kind of Moore's Law, but Moore's Law doesn't really make sense because if you followed Moore's Law for a computer, computers would be like this piece of paper or cheaper than a piece of paper and you can throw them away in the next 5 years, right, or 10 years because of Moore's Law. So Moore's Law has its own apex, which doesn't show up on a Moore's Law list. I don't know if I put it in here, probably not because it doesn't make sense, but those who study that, Moore's Law and computers and evolution, you'll know what I mean. So, the best solar energy satellites. I really like Highland's Power Star because it's simple, No working, barely any moving parts. It'll have to spin just to keep itself working properly and handling the thermals of outer space. And able so it aging and stuff doesn't warp itself in outer space. You have to rotate it. So that one's the best one. It is expandable. You can make them any sizes. Modular, it's just expandable for different sizes. Controllable for changing shape and stuff. I thought you'd have to take all the sun's energy and change it to overlap 3 beams, and then you can control the high and low spots on Earth for weather control and weather conditions. And once you overlap them in those areas, you can start manipulating them and put them in different jet streams all over the Earth, and then you can start manipulating weather. Well, now that I'll go in further, you'll see that everything has a frequency. Since we make frequencies, we don't have to. We can actually have these things overlap each other and make the frequency over a span of any size we want it to. Of course, that'll have to be done from a command center. Who gets to be able to control the weather? That's a whole different subject I don't even want to talk about. Okay, energy, solar cells. What's the best one in the world? Elon Musk says you can't get anything better than 28% or something like that. Well, I guess Elon didn't talk to the Germans because they're at 46.5% right now. So, or 48. So, these are each one's a company. This is exactly the technologies. This is exactly from the Department of Energy for solar. So, this is the best one, and it actually uses every frequency of ultraviolet rays. Okay, it takes every different wave frequency, and it'll actually take it and absorb each one to get the most energy out of each photon. Now, these are the materials that these solar cells are made out of. Typically, the old ones were the silicon. 180, these are microns, right? And we know a human hair is 100, so it's almost 2 hairs thick. That's not very thick. Now, of course, the cadmium, and which one? What's that? Which one? Yeah, TE. Okay. And this one. Anyway, I've got all those numbers written